0 degrees.
QEJ 905. Charlie, climb and maintain flight level 150, squawk 5224. Delta 2259er, contact Varna approach on 124.6. Allegiant Air 396 cleared to Cincinnati via the ended one departure, then as filed. Maintain 4000, expect flight level 36010 minutes after departure. Departure on 125.3, squawk 4523. Expect runway 18 for departure.
Papa Tango Delta Romeo Whisky Torre de Jacarepaguá, ventos calmos, pista 3 liberado para decolar.
American 35, taxi to runway 10 right via Tango November Tango Quebec Juliet. Contact tower on 119.3 when ready for departure.
JetBlue 84, copy, welcome to Orlando. Have a good evening.
American 1221, PG Indianapolis, sender, roger. JetBlue 84, turn left heading 100 vectors for the runway 23 approach. Contact Orlando Tower on 118.45 when established on final.
3-1, Sierra Mike understood. Continue present heading until established on the localizer for runway 26 left approach.
Rouge 596 Montreal Tower, wind 080 at 7 runway 6 right, cleared for takeoff. Fly runway heading until reaching 1000, then on course. JetBlue 2984, Orlando Tower, winds calm. Runway 18 right, cleared to land. Skyhawk 7774 Juliet Langley Regional Tower, winds 233 at 9er runway 7, cleared for takeoff departure to Trinity.
Delta 2259er, pushback and engine start approved. Report when ready for taxi. Skyhawk 3 Alpha Zulu cleared to land runway 35, winds 273 at 16. 570 Salt Lake Center, I'm not seeing your transponder. Confirm squawking 1742 mode C. Ident one more time for me. 570, welcome to Glacier. Contact ground on 121.6.
Piper 555, November Sierra, New York approach. Good evening, Farmingdale altimeter 29er74.
Citation 972 Mike Kilo Rio ground taxi to holding point runway 20 left via Bravo, hold short of runway. Information Kilo is current. Report when ready for departure. Delta 2259er, contact tower on 118.9er when ready for departure.
Golf Mike Mike. After departure, climb and maintain altitude 3000, turn left heading 270 degrees.
QEJ 905, Charlie, climb and maintain flight level 150, squawk 5224. Delta 2259er, contact Varna approach on 124.6. Allegiant Air 396 cleared to Cincinnati via the ended one departure, then as filed. Maintain 4000, expect flight level 36010 minutes after departure.
There we go. It's always a gamble when you take a guy like me and ask me to do a live cast as to whether or not it's going to end up being like a complete train wreck or whether we're going to, figure it out at the last minute. We always seem to figure it out. So, hey, everybody, it's good to see you guys. Thanks for joining in. I'm amazed at how many of you guys, jump in here. Thank you. It means a lot to me. If you have questions as we go along, I am watching the chat room. I should be able to answer those. If I miss your question or you're not tuned in live and you want to ask a question, jump into our Discord. We're very friendly. I try to be very active there, and happy to answer questions there as well. But we also have a wonderful team there. If I can't answer them, somebody else will. So yeah, jump in and no topic is off limits. We're happy to chat about whatever. We're an open book. We've got just a couple things to cover this week. Nothing earth-shattering. We got a couple things that I can show you here at the end that I think are really cool. But no giant announcements this week. But still something that I think is going to be pretty cool. Let's start with what's new since last time we spoke, last Thursday. First of all, app version 2.6.1.0 is available now. We now have an auto updater that runs on startup. It's still got some small issues that we're sorting out, but it's definitely our most stable release to date. Voice recognition, microphone things like that, pretty much working flawlessly, or about as flawlessly as I think we'll be able to get them. And it includes some fixes for ATIS distance, static. There's some active Sky bug fixes in there as well. If you're not running 2.6.1.0, jump over to the website, download page, grab it. And then hopefully from there and forevermore, the auto updater does its job. In the last 7 days, more than 45 bugs fixed. I would say at least a dozen of those I consider to be major bugs, meaning they're impacting lots of people lots of times. And most of those bugs were ATC related. It's funny, we had a funny situation where I got accused of working mostly on whiz bang features and not the ATC related features, which actually made me laugh a little bit because the vast majority of my time is spent on the ATC related stuff. These ancillary features like the tour guide features that you see, the cabin crew, those kinds of things are, I would say, well under 10% of my total time spent on this project. So, the stuff that you see there, know that it's a byproduct of what we're doing for ATC. None of it is necessarily the primary focus of what we're doing, which continues to be making sure that the air traffic control is as good as it possibly can be. Are we perfect? No, we never will be. The approach that we've taken with AI, where AI has a level of unpredictability that all we can do is try to get that number lower and lower and lower, but it'll always be there. So there'll be no such thing as a flight where you're guaranteed to have it go perfect every single time. But we can get you darn close, and that's the goal. We want to just get better and better and better. Next thing, runway transitions are now a thing. And this is actually a really cool one because it's showing up in the feedback scores. So I say they're a huge hit because the average score right now for an IFR flight is now over 8 out of 10. And it's the first time we've ever been really anywhere near that range. So, the overall likelihood that you're going to have a wonderful IFR flight has gone way up. And, specifically as it relates to, the arrivals, where a star often will dump you out sort of in the vicinity of the airfield where you may have to go through a vectoring process, et cetera, et cetera. The addition of runway transition, as I think, has really smoothed out lots of things that were a little rough before. Are we perfect? Not even close. We still have a lot of work to do on this stuff, but, things like this make a big difference in moving us forward to where we want to be. Taxi Tuner V3 is now live. We showed it off last Thursday. Said it would be live Monday. It was. We now have gate assignments. Yes, that means that ground is going to give you a gate assignment as of right now. It's also traffic aware, which means that it should not be assigning you a gate that's got airplanes currently parked at that gate. It's you can go into Taxi Tuner and assign airlines to gates. So inside of your SIMRI flight plan, there's a 3-letter airline ICAO code. For example, Delta Airlines is DAL. that gets matched up to the 3-letter ICAO codes that you can assign to gates inside of TaxiTuner. The way it works is when Ground goes to give you your gate assignment, it first will try to give you a gate that is assigned to your airline. By the way, we do support the concept of shared gates. So one gate can be assigned to one or more airlines. So the first thing it'll try to do is get you to a gate that is only your airline, right? Then it will try to get you to a gate that is your airline or a shared gate. And if that doesn't work, it'll try to get you to basically a gate that is not attached to any airline. So it goes in that order. But in all three cases, it's also checking to make sure that the gate isn't currently occupied. So another step in the right direction of becoming traffic aware. We can currently call out traffic advisories. That's traffic awareness. We can now assign gates based on whether or not airplanes are there. That's traffic awareness. And the capabilities that we have around traffic awareness are only going to continue to get better and better. So I am really, really excited about this feature. You can also say things like, hey, I'd like to taxi to gate, A12, and you're going to get taxi instructions to gate A12. This is stuff that nobody else is doing. Everybody else out there who's doing, gate assignments and things like that all require mouse clicks to pull that off. So super, super happy with the way that this is coming together. Additionally, TaxiTuner V3 allows us to label and mark other points at the airport. So you can label the FedEx ramp. You can label, Signature Aviation. You can add points all over the airport, de-icing pads, whatever you want to add. Those become part of the catalog of things that Ground can taxi you to. So yeah, very, very, very cool stuff that we've done with ground handling now. In fact, I would say that we've gone from, when we first launched, to having really no ability to do taxi instructions at all, not in a reliable way, to where we were basically, the worst in the industry. I think we've gone full circle to where we are now, I think, unquestionably the best in the industry at ground handling. So we'll continue to get better. There's still more we can do. But for right now, I'm super excited about the progress that we made with TaxiTuner. TaxiTuner is now considered feature complete. But there's additional things we can do as it relates to taxi, like adding support for things like progressive taxi, where you'll be able to have a conversation about your path to the runway or your path to the gate. Again, no mouse clicks, no menus will be the guiding principle there. So really good stuff. And Tour Tuner, which we showed last Thursday, is also live now. And I've got an extra surprise to show you there. For those that have been using it, this won't be a surprise. But for those who haven't used it, which is most of you, I've got something interesting to show you. What is it that we're working on now? What will we be spending our time on this week? Early traffic injection proof of concepts. Again, traffic injection itself probably won't be out until later this year. If you're curious about traffic injection, I did talk quite a bit about it in last week's Vectors to Final. I would encourage you to go take a look at that. We're working on it now. It's just that it's going to be an enormous project that requires, very incremental progress. And stay tuned. Just know that it's getting active work right now. Dynamic departures is still trying to get that one to bubble up to the top where it's more important than anything else, but it's still very high on my radar. Bug fixes are always top priority for us. Anytime we have a bug that's affecting multiple people in a consistent way, that bug goes to basically the top of the queue. So, just expect that it continues to get better and better. We got to get our new crowd voices alive. None of them are live yet. Be patient. But I do hope to make significant progress on that this week. And those of you who've requested specific airports, stay tuned. We're sorting through all of the details still. But like I said, I'm hoping to make significant progress on that this week. One thing I will tell you is that the voices have turned out, I think, better than we thought, which means that we're going to be able to use a lot more of them than we thought we might. So that's extremely good news for us and for you and for everybody who's flying on the network here. What about later? Well, long-term roadmap is largely unchanged. We want traffic that matches, the chatter that's going on, or vice versa. We want terrain awareness. We want to make something that's NOTAM aware. We want to support all of the, the career mode stuff in 2024, and then of course the traffic stuff that we've talked about, so many times. So let's talk about the two more things. But before we get into the two more things, one thing that I want to start doing on Vectors to Final is introducing you guys to other people who work on the project besides just, me. You guys get tired of hearing from me, and I would love it if you got to meet, well, you get to meet Ryan, I guess, which is good. And sorry, I'm doing tech support live in the middle of Vectors. I know I got somebody asking questions about, they're having an issue, and I'm trying to get them the answer. Sorry. I want you guys to meet the other members of the team. You've met you've met Ryan, but there are tons more people on the team that actually make SayIntentions work behind the scenes, or that make SayIntentions possible. And so I would really love to show you guys the rest of the team members. I had originally thought that it would be good to do a Vectors to Final where we pulled everybody in and did introductions with the whole team, but then I realized there's way too many people, and it would be a very long Vectors to Final. So I thought what would be better is if we each week maybe grab a team member, pull them in, and let you get to know them. Spend 5 minutes, and we'll do that each week until we run out of people, which will probably be never. So we're going to talk to Sven today, and his Discord handle is iFred. Before I pull him in response to Robin, your question on P3DV5 support, it's coming. As far as when, I don't know. I would estimate no more than 3 weeks, but hopefully much sooner than that. We'll see. Hang on. Yeah, it's very high on our priority list. P3DV5 is being actively worked on. We'll get it out. It's not me, by the way, that works on that one. My dad, who will pull in on one of these Vectors to Final, is the guy who builds the app itself, and P3DV5 is relatively high on his priority list. I don't spend much time thinking about it personally. So he's working on it. Yeah, we meet Uncle Harley. Yeah, we should pull in the AI characters. That would be funny, and let you meet them. That's actually a really funny idea. All right, let me grab the little OBS thing here and drag some things around, and hopefully when I'm done, hey, look, we have Sven, who's live here. Let me pull up. We got the Zoom window. That's good. I like that positioning. This is good. We look like professionals right now. Sven, hello.
Okay. Hi, Brian. Hello.
Let me see. I'm going to have you turn up your audio a little bit if you can, or get a little closer to your mic or something like that. Or maybe I can just do it on my end. I think I can do it.
Test.
Let's see. I can
Hi,
just
Brian. How are you?
Yeah, you're good. You can set that mic down a little bit. I think we'll be all right.
Oh, okay.
That's perfect. Yeah, we hear you great.
Yeah.
This is perfect. Sven,
okay.
Welcome.
Yeah, glad to be here.
First of all, you're one of the reasons that I was so excited to have your help with the project is I struggle a little bit to understand the nuances of air traffic control between the different countries and even the different regions in the world, right? And I think when I started this, I thought, oh, well, we'll have the FAA system, and then we'll have like the ICAO system, and I'll do this twice, and everything will be fine. And I have learned a lot since then, because every country does this differently. And Sven, you do a wonderful job representing Germany, and in terms of the community there and making it work and feel correct for Germany. And anybody who's thinking about getting into the air traffic control game and says, oh, I'm going to make it work in every country, every region, it's all going to be perfect, you have a long road ahead of you. I will tell you that. And you're not going to do it without people like Sven here to help. Sven, tell us, first of all, I know you want to say hi to the German community. Introduce yourself. Tell us, what's your background, and take it from here. I'll shut up.
Okay, yeah. Okay, as you've all heard, my name is Sven. I'm from Germany, 50 years old. working as a CTO and as a data protection consultant for a small consultant company in Solingen in Germany, where all your kitchen knives are coming from. When you take a look at your kitchen knives, they are normally made in our town. I joined the project at the beginning of the year because I'm totally excited in AI technology. We are working with our company on AI projects, and I think it's one of the best ideas ever made, best ideas anyone had for the flight simulation community to use AI as a partner in your cockpit. Yeah, so I love this idea, and thanks to the different time zones we have, we can do some work early in the morning or late in the evening. It doesn't collide with my normal job, so it's perfect.
No, it's great. I'd love having you here. I know you wanted to say hi to the Germans, but you promised me you wouldn't say mean things about me without me knowing. So
I promise.
I wouldn't know either way. So
you know me. Jetzt, okay. Ja, erstmal Hallo an alle Deutschsprachigen. Schön, dass ihr dabei seid. Ich kriege ja auch schon viel mit im Discord. Freut mich, dass ihr da seid und auch rege am Austausch teilnehmt. Würde mich freuen, wenn ihr mich ansprecht, wenn ihr Fragen habt, wenn es um Termine geht, Probleme oder vielleicht Podcasts, die ihr machen wollt, wo es ein bisschen um die Technik geht. Vergleiche, irgendwas in der Art. Also ich bin da gerne bereit, steht auch gerne mal zur Verfügung. Ich will das jetzt hier nicht zu lang machen. Ne? Brian versteht kein Wort, ich bin sicher. Ich werde auch nichts Gemeines sagen, aber es würde mich, wie gesagt, super freuen. Ihr könnt mich in Deutsch ansprechen, in Englisch ansprechen, ihr könnt mich auch in Französisch ansprechen. Es müsste alles funktionieren. Von daher in diesem Sinne, back to English.
I'm going to assume that was awesome and motivational and
yes.
everything. But I will say this, and I want you to comment on this. I want you to tell me why this is. Why is it that if somebody said to me, who is the most passionate group of flight sim users there are out there about making sure that everything is right and attention to detail and really just excited about what we're doing in general? Why is it the Germans? Why would I put that? Why do they go right to the top of that list? I'm just curious.
Oh, I've absolutely no idea. So I would say we look a lot towards perfection, maybe sometimes too much.
Yes, I would agree with that.
But as we know from the one or other discussion we both had regarding vectoring.
Look.
So, but it's the way you can achieve big things when you have it say 100% in mind, and when you know it's possible to realize or to make things work like that, then you want to do it, and that's possibly one of the German properties that maybe many others don't have. So why are you all driving German cars? There must be a reason for
there
it.
must be a reason. Yeah, no, there's something. I love it, actually. And I will tell you guys, if you ever want your software to be amazing, all you have to do is get some Germans who are passionate about what your software does, and they are relentless. Sven is relentless about making sure that our stuff is right. But what I love is that you're relentless about making sure that it's right for Europe,
for everyone,
and for really for everyone, yes. But also, you're paying attention to the tiny details that make it nice for people who are local to that country as well, which has created what I think is a very cool experience there. And we're going to talk more about what we're doing for Europe specifically. But you've done a wonderful job there. What feature all the dirty secrets about SayIntentions. You know everything about what we are and what we're not. I hope everybody who watches Vectors to Final feels that way, by the way, because I'm very open. What are you most excited about for that we have now that surprises you from where we were 3 months ago? Let's start with that question.
Oh, I think the most important thing, or the things that I've learned, is that byproducts, as you have said, like the crew members and tour guides, how easy it actually is to create them with AI. It's unbelievable. Yeah, so it's opening so many possibilities, even for business cases in any process. So that's my normal job. Yeah, it's like creating solutions for business. And what is possible with AI is an unbelievable, and I think not 100% understood thing. Yeah, so we might see some very, very cool solutions in the future. So that's regarding AI. And regarding our stuff, I think when we get the IFR working with vectoring and with traffic, I think we have done an amazing job. And I think it will top all of the other participants on the market by far, because we are interactive. Yeah, and that's that's what I think. I believe in it 200% that we can do it. And
Oh, we're gonna do it. Yeah, we're gonna do it. And
I know.
It's gonna be something. I'm gonna tell you that. And I think we're taking a very clever approach to it that will surprise people about where they'll go, whoa, that's different. And then I think they'll go, oh, wait a minute, this is really good, right? But it won't be what people think. Yeah.
Yeah,
taxi tuner, great.
Possibilities of the taxi tuner don't end with gates. Yeah, they don't end with airports. They don't end with towns. We have endless possibilities to use waypoints, altitudes, all the stuff that is taxi tuner able to provide us. And I think there are so many possibilities for the future. I can't even get over it.
No, I agree.
So,
I agree. Everybody said
too much.
When I've had people ask, when will SayIntentions be finished? When are you gonna, when is the product up? Never.
Sorry.
We will never run out of cool stuff to add. Really, we never will. So I'm happy to be on board and sort of living this crazy roller coaster that we're on. But more importantly, I want to make sure that you guys know out there that what we're doing wouldn't be possible without people like Sven, who are passionate and push hard on the details. And I'm not talking about the add-ons. I'm talking about the ATC core stuff, the details. No, you shouldn't use this word. It's that word. Put them in this order. In Germany, it's done this way. In England, they do it this other slightly different way. Things that most people wouldn't notice. But when you do notice, you go, oh, that was so cool, right? When you do understand the subtle nuances, you go, all right, this thing's neat. And that's the reaction that I think we all get excited about. So, Sven, thank you. Any final words for us?
No, I just say thank you for having me. And my colleagues are waiting with a bottle of wine now. We are in Neustadt right now, which is a wine area. So,
you know how they say it's always 5 o'clock somewhere? It's 5 o'clock where Sven is, so get out of here.
Yeah, so it's 9:30.
Oh, you missed it. You missed 5 o'clock.
When I meet them, they are all, not so sober anymore.
They're a little ahead of where you're going to be. So, yeah, get in there, get caught up. All right. Thank you, Sven. I appreciate you joining us.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. We'll pull that out of there. Look at me. All right, we did it. Oh, my gosh. I'm turning into like a producer here, moving windows around and using OBS like a pro. All right. Let's talk about the two more things here. First one that we have, as soon as I get the window up here, is huge news for VFR in Europe. I'm really excited about this. Guys, European VFR is really, really hard. And I don't necessarily, there's a couple things that make it hard, and I want to talk about those. The first one is every country in Europe does VFR a little bit differently. First of all, European VFR in general is massively different from the way VFR works in the U.S. The procedures, the phraseologies, the way you interact with air traffic control, the role of air traffic control, it's all completely different in Europe from the U.S. So, there's no such thing as just saying, oh, we support VFR. where do you support VFR? Which countries do you support it in? So, that's the first challenge with VFR in general. Our stuff in the U.S. is pretty good. There's still some things I'd like to sort of smooth out as it relates to Bravo and Charlie airspaces, but for the most part, it's quite good. European VFR, I'm the first one to admit it's a mess right now, but we have a very very committed team of people in our moderator group who are really passionate about making European VFR amazing. And the only way that that's going to happen is if we give them the tools that they need to tune it and dial in the way that it's supposed to be. So the other thing that makes VFR in Europe extremely challenging is just a general lack of organized data around airports and airspaces and frequencies and runways and all that stuff as it relates to really anywhere in Europe, the Middle East, et cetera, et cetera. And you go, well, what's the problem? All the data is available. Yeah, it is. But unlike the AIRAC data or the FAA data on aviation, the data in Europe is not published in any single standard format. So you can go and you can get the data for, let's say, France, but what you're downloading often is like a PDF that has all of the info for all of the airports. And, here you go, here's your PDF. Well, guys, loading data from a PDF like that it's not trivial because it's in its own format. It may have some data, but not other data. And so you go, okay, we'll support that. And then you go to a different country and all of a sudden you got to start over and figure out how to get the data. And plus, if you're like importing data out of a PDF, you're not just copy pasting data. You're like almost hand entering it. It's crazy. So there's a giant lack of centralized, organized data for European VFR. Lots of airports are just missing from databases. Lots of frequencies are just missing from databases. But this is why, right? There's no centralized, organized effort to publish this data in a standardized format like we do with AIRAC. So, that's a giant problem in and of itself. So to solve all of this, we decided that we're going to take the same approach that we did with Taxi Tuner, which is just empowering our teams with the tools that they need to set it up properly. Now, we're not going to be crowdsourcing this stuff at the broad level, meaning we'll keep these tools within the confines of our moderator team, but they now have tools where they can create new airports. They can go in and override or change the frequencies that are in the AIRAC data. They can create custom airspaces such as FIS regions, which are not published anywhere. I mean, they're published, but there's no standardized data on this stuff. So they're in there literally drawing out, customized airspaces. They can add and change runways. They now have, our European VFR team now has the tools that they need to build out the European aviation infrastructure for the smaller airports, right? We have great data on the big airports. The AIRAC data takes care of that. But when we get into the smaller airports and the smaller airspaces, the data is just not there. We now have the ability to solve that problem. Just as an example, we now have over 600 new frequencies that have been added just in the last week. Actually, I would say even just in the last 72 hours that were not in there before for our European airports. And I suspect that we'll have a few thousand here within the next couple of weeks. Again, thanks to the tireless efforts of our VFR team in Europe who's collecting all of this data, consolidating it, entering it into the system. And, we're going to be able to create a fantastic experience here. Good question. This is totally unrelated, but I promise to answer questions along the way. Is it possible to import the call sign from the SimBrief flight plan? The answer is yes, we can do that. The problem is we don't know how to pronounce the call sign. And most people get very annoyed if the call sign isn't pronounced exactly correctly. So yeah, while we could grab the call sign out of the SimBrief flight plan, you wouldn't like the experience because ATC would pronounce it in a way that you weren't happy with. So I like our system right now where you specify your call sign and the pronunciation of your call sign which has solved all of the problems with differences in the way call signs are phrased between regions, differences in the way ATC refers to call signs, et cetera, et cetera. I don't think that we want to go backwards from that by just importing a few letters and numbers from a SIMBRI flight plan. Again, I take my word for it, you would not like the experience that created. Yeah, so Danger Zone demo, maybe we could create a forum section in the Discord like Taxi Tuner for the EU VFR. We actually have one. If it's not available to everyone, we can fix that, but I'm pretty sure we have one where people can come in and post issues, problems, concerns, bring issues to light that we didn't know about, like, missing airports, missing frequencies, et cetera, and the team can then grab those and go in and make the fixes. That's now, again, something that the team can do rather than it, being something that I have to do, which, will really massively speed up this effort. So really, really excited about this. It does not take them very long to add a new airport and set it all up. So if you find an airport that's missing or an airport that's just completely wrong, this team can typically do that within a matter of a minute or two now. So I don't want to understate the power of this tool, because this is what we've needed to bring European VFR to the next level, was data. And this solves that problem for us, thanks to the efforts of the team. The second thing that I want to show you, those of you who've been doing a lot of the Tor Tuner stuff are already familiar with this, but we took Tor Tuner one more step. This was not a major effort. Don't worry, my time is being spent on ATC. This wasn't like a ton of work here, but we now have a UI where you can see and browse tours from other people. As I showed in the add-on vectors to Final from last week, where I spent about 20 minutes later in the day pulling everybody back in and saying, hey, wait a minute, we did one more thing. You can now create tours auto by using the AI. So you can go in and hit create tour. The AI will take its first crack at the tour. Those of you who've tried it realize that it's exactly what I said, which is it creates an imperfect tour. But then you can go in and adjust it slightly, move waypoints around, change the order around, et cetera, et cetera. Does a really nice job at sort of setting up the baseline for you. You can publish your tours, make them available to everybody. Once someone's flown your tour, now they will get a little pop-up that allows them to rate it on a scale of 1 to 5. And we've got this wonderful new interface that allows you to search, browse available tours. If you haven't done this, by the way, it's really cool. Going in and doing like a castle tour or, a natural wonders tour around an area. You can do some really cool stuff. Larry, you asked if we could add Miggs Field. Yes, we actually now have the tools we need to go in and add Miggs Field if we want it. And I'm so glad you mentioned that. What I should have done is done that before this live cast and showed it as a demonstration of what we can do. Yes, I'll tell you what. I promise you we'll have Miggs Field completed before the end of the day, and it'll be in the system, and you'll be able to call up Miggs Field as an airport. I love the idea. Let's add it. Let's do it. Yes, we can do it now. Yeah. Great use for the tool, honestly. And then the one more thing on the Tor Tuner enhancements is that you can now download this stuff in PLN format or GFP format, where you can now import it directly into your simulator. It'll load it right into your GPS, and you can fly the tour on autopilot if you want. It'll literally just take you from spot to spot. It's really cool. So some nice enhancements to Tor Tuner. If you've not used this, you are missing out, because it is really cool. And I just want to reiterate that we support the concept of low altitude and high altitude tours. So if you're doing an IFR flight from point A to point B, go in there and add the mountain ranges and the cities and the rivers and the highways, and it will call those out along the flight path as you go along. It's really neat. Thank you, everybody. That is what I've got for you for this week, and I'm excited to show you some more stuff next week. In fact, I think next week we're going to have a really interesting announcement. I'm hoping we have it ready in time. But I think even if we don't, it'll be close enough that I can announce it. And this will be cool. This will be really, really, really cool. You IFR guys are going to go nuts over this. So stand by. We'll chat with everybody next week, and I'm going to go add Miggs Field right now.